Don't miss Memphis Wrestling Live. Saturday, February 28th, WWE Talent Scout Gabe Sapolsky is conducting a pro wrestling seminar at the Wrestle Center. Register now. Limited spots are available. Sunday, March 1st, Frankie Kazarian is coming to Memphis Wrestling. Friday, March 20th, don't miss Wrestling Night with the Memphis Grizzlies at FedEx Forum. Saturday, March 21st, it's Wrestling Night with the Memphis Hustle at Landers Center. All tickets are on sale now. Get yours right now at memphiswrestling.tv.
Attention wrestling fans, do you want to watch every WWE premium live event no matter where you are in the world? Well, I've got the ultimate tag team partner for you, Surfshark VPN. With Surfshark, you can unlock content from anywhere on the globe. What this means is no more block streams, no more restrictions, just wall-to-wall action. Imagine catching WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Royal Rumble, and Survivor Series live no matter what country you're in. And here's the best part. By using my affiliate link, which is tinyurl.com/ it's VPN STS Talk. You'll also score an exclusive huge savings plus an extra 3 months absolutely free. That's right, 3 bonus months of unlimited access, total online privacy, and the power to stream every WWE pay-per-view like a true champion. And don't get counted out. Hit the link. It is tinyurl.com/ it's VPN STS Talk. Go to that link and make sure you never miss a single second of the action again. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to step in the ring with pain relief. When back pain, neck pain, and stress tries to body slam you into the mat, there's only one tag team partner you can trust.
Vitality Chiropractic in Jonesboro and Newport, Arkansas. The champions of chiropractic care. With a dedicated team of professionals, they're not just adjusting spines, they're adjusting lives. Whether you're battling aches, pains, or just need to feel like a brand new you, Vitality Chiropractic has the moves to get you back on top of your game. Personalized care, effective treatments, and a commitment to your health and vitality.
You don't have to tap out to pain. Pick up the phone. Dial 870-523-2225. That is 870-523-2225, brother. And schedule your appointment today. Vitality Chiropractic serving Jonesboro and Newport. Step in the ring with pain and walk out a champion of health. Vitality Chiropractic, because your spine deserves the main event. 1, 2, 3. Wrestling fans, are you ready? Every Friday night in Osceola, Arkansas, MCW, the legacy continues. Live, hard-hitting, family-friendly wrestling action every Friday night at the MCW Arena, located at 1098 West Kaiser. Doors open at 6:30 and the action starts at 8 p.m. sharp. Don't miss your chance to see the stars of MCW battle out in the ring, rivals, drama, and slam-packed action. Here's what I want you to do. If you have any questions, I want you to search Facebook for Osceola's Mid-Southern Championship Wrestling. All ticket information, how to get your ticket, what time the show starts, everything right there on Facebook. All tickets are on sale right now. Be there! Hey, just a quick reminder, subscribe for $5, $7, or $10 at www.patreon.com/Shooting the Shiznit without a G. That's right, Shooting the Shiznit without a G. This episode is also brought to you by Bear. Eat better, live better. These guys are the best meal prep company in Northeast Arkansas. So get 15% off with our code STSPodClub at bear870.com. That's 15% off. Use our code STSPodClub at bear870.com. Trust Bear for your meal prep needs in Northeast Arkansas. Eat better, live better. Bear. Folks, let's talk about something that can make everything feel a little smoother, a little better, and a whole lot more comfortable. If you're listening to STS Pod, you already know we believe in top-tier performance, and that doesn't stop when the mics go off. That's right. That's why we have been proudly sponsored for 7 years by SpunkLube.com. That's right, SpunkLube.com. Spunk Lube Hybrid is their best-selling for a reason. Spunk Lube Hybrid is a unique water-based silicone blend that looks and feels like your body's natural lubrication. Translation, you get that skin-to-skin sensation without the sticky mess or constant application, whether it's solo time or with a partner, or you're just upgrading your overall experience. Spunk Lube Hybrid has you covered. It's non-staining, made for sensitive skin, and cleans up easily because nobody wants extra work afterwards. Got toys, condoms, no problem. Spunk Lube Hybrid is fully compatible with sex toys, condoms, and more. And here's the good stuff. It's made in the USA, backed by 15 years of trust, and it ships discreetly as your business stays. Well, it stays your business. That's right. Right now, STS Pod listeners can get 10% off when you use the promo code STS Pod at checkout. That's STS Pod. STSPOD for 10% off Spunk Lube Hybrid, the best selling for a reason. Feel better, move better, enjoy more, because friction, well, it's for bad podcasts, not for real life. We can all help prevent suicide. The National Suicide Prevention Lifeline provides 24/7 free and confidential support for people in distress, and also prevention and crisis resources for you and your loved ones. Call 1-800-273-8255.
What happens when someone sends you a box of cassettes from the 1990s? You put them on as a podcast. Sit back and take a trip to the past for Cassette Wrestling News. Stone Cold Steve Austin called this the first ever podcast. These cassettes were mailed every issue to subscribers during the heyday of wrestling fanzines. Jeff Osborne and John Seaton sit down and put out an episode of zany, fun, and sometimes some serious stuff. Get ready to dive 30 plus years into the past.
Hello, wrestling fans. Welcome to Cassette Wrestling News, issue number 55.
I'm John Seaton.
And I am Jeff Osborne. And John, I had several reports that Jim Herd has cut off all contacts to the sheets. He claims that we had given out false information about the contract with Ric Flair, saying that many reports, even in 4 papers around the United States, said that they wanted him to take a pay cut half of what Ric Flair was making. Jim Herd said this was not true and that we're all liars, basically, is what he said. And this is garbage. I have a quote here from Ric Flair, and it reads as follows. Yeah, as you know, Flair was making an excess of $750,000 a year, and he was asked...
Every penny well earned.
He was asked to take a pay cut down to $350,000. Flair says, I don't know how they could possibly expect me to accept their offer. And he goes on to say, imagine a baseball manager walking up to Jose Canseco and saying, Jose, tomorrow we're going to cut your check in half. Would they expect him to say, oh, fine? I don't think so. Anyway, Flair got in touch with Dennis Guthrie, his attorney, and they were both notified that WCW would terminate his contract on August 1st. To me, though, there's only one man behind this, John. Well, actually 2 men, and Jim Herd and Dusty Rhodes. You'd think that if Jim Herd was vice president of this group, he would realize what kind of an asset Ric Flair is to the group and not let Dusty Rhodes throw his weight around and get rid of the greatest world champion that this sport has ever seen.
These Twin Towers are fucked up.
John.
These Twin Towers are fat, obese, lard. It really pisses me off what they did to Ric Flair, because Ric Flair is the greatest universe today, Jeff. What they've done to this man is just shit. It just makes me want to... I just want to fart. And I did. Jeff, there's only so many things you can put into words, and that's why I did that. I'm tired of talking about it. I wanted to make my true feelings expressed the way that I wanted them to be expressed. And by God, the only way I could do that was to be flatulent. And if you've got a problem with that, anybody out there listening, I don't give a damn. And it's Jim Herd. Do you remember the statement I made about Jim Herd?
Issue number 29, a very, very memorable issue, John.
And what did I say, Jeff?
Well, something to the effect, and I do not mean this, I am simply quoting a past issue of CWN.
Just say it.
The exact words were, Jeff, I want Jim Herd dead.
The new words are, Jeff, I want
John?
Jim Herd roughed up. I want somebody down there in Atlanta, Georgia, some big redneck kid, to wait till Jim Herd comes out of his office, out of his building, wait by his car, grab him, thrash him, hurt him, make him pay, beat him like a WWF wrestling buddy.
I gotta agree with that, John. As much as I hate to, maybe the first finger we gotta point at is Dusty.
You know what
Rhodes.
finger I'm gonna point? It's my middle one, Jeff.
Let's keep this show clean, John. We got a lot of new listeners, a lot of new people listening to Cassette Wrestling News. But the bottom line is, hey, the NWA screwed up, and guess who's getting Ric Flair? I think we all know this by now. The only man who deserves to get Ric Flair, other than a Japan promotion, Joel Goodhart. Let's talk about some good news here, John. I'm looking forward to this September 21st card in Philadelphia more than I've ever looked forward to anything in my entire life.
Sex?
John, it's going to be awesome. I'm telling you, Flair versus Funk, what can you say?
Well, Flair versus Funk, I would love to see this match as a continuation of a great feud that they had, and it should be a barn burner, damn it. And by the way, for all you people who say Terry Funk's too over the hill, that he's out of shape and that he's got too many injuries to wrestle, and that he can't have a good wrestling match, and he won't be able to have a good wrestling match with Ric Flair, I have one thing to say to you. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Okay, John. As far as the situation with NWA and Herd cutting all the newsletters out from information and stuff, if he's going to bitch and gripe about us not getting the right information, isn't this a babyish way of taking a way out? I don't know how to put it, but if we're not getting the right information, is it not his responsibility to correct our mistakes?
Jim Herd proved a long time ago, Jeff, that he cannot run a successful promotion. The man is a imbecile. He does not belong in the wrestling business. He doesn't certainly belong in the pizza business. The man doesn't belong anywhere in any business whatsoever, in any capacity whatsoever, in shape or form. All I'm saying right now to you and to everyone listening to me, I don't care who's listening to me, Jim Herd, you're a idiot.
I'm not going to touch that comment with a 20-foot pole, John. Let's move on. I'd like to remind everyone the comments made by John Seaton are his alone and not the opinions of anyone on Cassette Wrestling News. Yeah. A lot of turns going on in WCW land as Dusty, as most of you know, have turned Barry. And Barry is going to be teaming up with Sting to take on Nikita Koloff and the one-man gang in some of the bashes. Dusty has turned Luger. Dusty is turning the Freebirds. And now Dusty, get this, has turned Johnny B. Bad and Teddy Long. And they will feud with Steve Austin for the World Television title. Man.
One good turn deserves another.
Well, it seems Dusty's changing these guys, changing sides more than he changes his damn underwear.
He ought to be called Dusty Turner. Ted's big brother.
Anyway, let's people were somewhat disappointed with the bash. I'll quote one person, the Great American Trash, WCW, we can't wrestle. I'm quoting someone. I was sort of in the middle. I missed seeing Flair on the bash. It was just missing something for me. But I got to admit, I was wrong about Johnny B. Bad. He seems to have turned into one heck of a wrestler. And his sunset flip off the top rope was probably the best maneuver of the night on Brian Pillman. But anyway...
Thought you mean Yellow Dog.
Yeah, right, John. Anyway, the Great American Bash was seen by 152,000 homes approximately, which translates somewhere into the about $2.9 million.
The last WWF Spectacular was seen by, 157,000 home, most.
John, let's keep this clean, please. And I'm supposed to be talking to John Arezzi before the end of this show. John recently went to a press conference with Vince McMahon. John entered the press conference under an alias, and some trouble ensued. And from what I gather, is that WWF is threatening to pull all its ads from John Arezzi's show. And but you got to take your hat off to Arezzi, John. This man sticks his neck out for the business of professional wrestling.
I don't wear a hat, Jeff.
Whatever you say. Anyway, I hope to be talking to Arezzi before the end of the show. And the last Great American Bash will take place in Atlanta, Georgia, where there will be a U.S. heavyweight title tournament. A lot of names coming down off this, John. This will take place August 25th. Some of the names to appear on that tournament are Barry Windham, Steve Austin, Arn Anderson, Nikita Koloff.
Jeff. I'm looking at your list here, and I can't help but notice where you have Koloff's name spelled K-O-L-O-K.
John, I was doing...
Kolok! A Kolok!
That is an F.
That's a K. K-O-L-O-K. Kolok. Is it now Nikita Kolock? Has Dusty gone that stupid he's changed their names?
John,
Jeff,
it was a simple...
Jeff, you're almost as stupid as Jim Herd. And that's pretty damn dumb. Learn to write. Come on.
Yeah. Anyway, let's... Don't... Jesse Ventura is rumored to be signing on with Joe Pedicino's Global Wrestling Federation. You know, this is going to be a welcome change because what the wrestling industry is lacking right now
Did you spell his name right?
Yes, I did. I did not. I'm sorry. But anyway, it seems a lot of the people have forgotten the heel commentators, and with Jesse back, it's going to be great, I think. What do you think?
Well, Jesse Ventura is one of the greatest. He left a lot to be desired as far as being a wrestler. He was colorful, but when he got behind the mic, he definitely made up for his lack of wrestling skills, and it's good. It'll be good to hear Jesse behind the mic again. He's reminiscent of myself, kind of, except I'm a little bit more wittier and a hell of a lot better looking.
Yeah,
and I have more hair.
Whatever you say, Joe. After that disastrous scaffold match between PM News, Bobby Eaton, and Terry Taylor and Steve Austin, Herd says no more scaffold. This was by far the worst scaffold match I've ever seen.
Jeff, do you know what the PN and PN News stands for?
Do I want to hear this?
Yes, it stands for pretty nappy.
Okay, I'll agree with that, John.
You look at the man.
Okay, this scaffold match, I know you haven't had a chance to see the pay-per-view, John, but the scaffold match, in my opinion, was the worst scaffold match I've ever seen. It's almost as bad as the time Dutch Mantell took on Bill Dundee when they had 2 step ladders and a piece of wood here in Evansville, Indiana.
That was a classic match, believe it or not.
It was a good match, but the scaffold was 6 feet tall.
I remember Dundee got hit right in the testicles by a Mantell boot. That was some classic crap, I'm telling you.
Okay, John.
Memories may be beautiful and gay. Go ahead.
Okay, let's see here. Folks, I've been throwing this around, and I've talked about it before with some of the listeners. We're going to try a video cassette wrestling news. We're going to go inside this luxurious studio. Yeah, right. And we're going to show you just exactly how cassette wrestling news is made, as well as some other special features.
Namely me.
Yeah, okay, John. Yeah. We'll even show some past matches me and John have had. And last time we met John, it involved toasters and vacuum cleaners, and yeah, who knows what's going to happen.
Yeah, gotta see it, people. It was pretty kinky.
What? Anyway, we're going to throw in some bootleg footage of some matches. So, hey, probably be a half hour to an hour long, and it won't be very much. So you may want to try that out, and we'll put some old classic angles and stuff on there.
And believe me, people, you will not believe how long the man's hair is.
Do you have to bring that up every time?
Well, you're a friggin' hippie, Jeff.
Whatever you say.
You remember when Bobby Eaton was teaming with Dennis Conner, how long his damn hair was? Down to the man's asshole. Yours is about that long.
I can't argue with that. You're hippie. All right, folks, let's go to Joe Goodhart. He's here with a special offer with some videotapes.
All right, this is Joel Goodhart, Commissioner of the Tri-State Wrestling Alliance, and many of you have been calling Jeff Osborne to get information regarding the TWA videotapes that are available. These tapes are complete and uncut. 2 tapes in each set, over 3 hours of wrestling on each tape. The 2 biggest sellers, Winter Challenge 2, which was March 2nd of this year, and Autumn Armageddon 1, September 15th of 1990. These tapes are available to you now at $25 each, plus $5 shipping and handling. But since you're listeners of CWN and friends of Jeff Osborne, we're going to waive the $5. So for $25 each, Autumn Armageddon 1, September 15th, 1990, and Winter Challenge 2, March 2nd, 1991 are available. Just write to the squared circle, P.O. Box 57068, Philadelphia, PA 19111, and mention you heard it here on CWN, and we'll waive the shipping and handling charge for the TWA videotapes Autumn Armageddon 1 and Winter Challenge 2. Also, as a special offer, we still have the Ric Flair Wrestler of the Decade video. April 30th, 1989, Ric Flair was honored by the Squared Circle Fan Club here in Philadelphia with a very special dinner at the Philadelphia Civic Center, honoring him as Wrestler of the Decade. You can see this entire affair on this videotape with comments by Ric Flair and Jim Ross that, especially now with Ric Flair's termination at WCW, may prove to be very, very interesting. That videotape is only $20, and that can be gotten without the $5 shipping and handling as well. Complete and uncut TWA videotapes. P.O. Box 57068, Philadelphia, PA 19111. If you'd like further information, call Jeff Osborne, or you can call Joel Goodhart at 215-745-8315. Make sure you mention Jeff Osborne's name. We're not going to charge you double because of Jeff. We're going to charge you a little bit less. That's the TWA videotapes, complete and uncut. P.O. Box 57068, Philadelphia, PA 19111. And, of course, videotapes will be available after Autumn Armageddon 2, which will be September 21st. Jeff Osborne's going to be on the front row, so you got to be there. But if you can't make it, videotapes will be available for that as well. And more information about that on the CWN tapes coming up, probably number 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 60.
All right, Joel Goodhart of the Tri-State Wrestling Alliance. Damn, John, I'm looking forward to that show. But anyway, August 3rd, Joel will have Hardcore Heaven, and he is going to announce the biggest thing to hit the wrestling world this year. I don't know if I should say anything about it, but if you can, I won't say anything. Just if you get a chance, get up there, because August 3rd, that night, not only will you see Cactus Jack and Eddie Gilbert in 3 matches from hell, like John said, they're just basically going to kill each other. And anyway, he's going to have the most special announcement to hit wrestling this year. Also, he's got to just call the guy. He just gave out his number. He'll tell you what you want to know and everything else. Joel Goodhart, Tri-State Wrestling Alliance.
Joel Goodhart.
Joel Goodhart.
Good man.
Okay, John. All right, John, you have there a story that came off the Newswire, courtesy of someone we won't name. Anyway, it says something about the WWF banning the Mountie. Why don't you tell everyone about that?
Well, as everyone knows who has anything, if you know anything about wrestling, you know the Mountie is Rougeau. Rougeau, the character of the Mountie, is one of the top villains in the World Wrestling Federation, and recently they've been getting some complaints from Canada about this son of a bitch. They're saying that it's an insult, a slap in the damn face to the Canadian Mounted Police. And I can't say that it isn't because, hell, I don't live there. Anyway, the Canadians, Inspector Gervais Joutard, said the Mounted Police has negotiated with the WWF since February to drop the character. The WWF, which did not return phone calls from the Miami Herald, typical, added a disclaimer on television shows saying last month that the Mountie was not a legitimate officer. Yeah, no shit. They further say, we received complaints from the public and we're a little concerned with the image created by the WWF. Joutard said, the Mountie was certainly not a true representative of Canada or of the role model we are trying to portray. We are relying on the WWF to eventually cancel this character altogether. Well, that would be a good thing to do because the Mountie, as far as a wrestling character goes, sucks. The man, bring back Jacques Rougeau, bring back his brother Raymond, and bring back the Rougeaus and put them in tag matches. The Mountie, as far as a wrestling character goes, leaves a lot to be desired. He's only there to feud with the Big Boss Man. Oh, Jeff, where the hell you been? Stains on your pants. What have you been doing? Do I know it's a slap?
I went to the bathroom.
Yeah, I know. You faggot.
Get on with your story.
I'm finished.
Okay, the bottom line is that the Mountie is done with. Folks, I gotta hit the stop button. John, I don't want you saying Jacques anymore. If I come in here and find another hawker on my microphone.
Or as Kevin Sutherland would say, a hoogie.
Excuse me. You know, as most of you should know by now, Vince McMahon confessed to taking steroids just a couple of short weeks ago. And, John, I understand you saw something that I didn't. McMahon standing in front of a very large WWF symbol. Was it on Championship Wrestling or All-American Wrestling or something? I was not aware of this, but I wish I would have seen it.
Well, Jeff, it was on one of these WWF programs. Don't ask me which one it was, because they're all the fucking same. Anyway, they had public... It was kind of a commercial, WWF commercial. It had Vince McMahon on a set, and behind him had the gigantic symbol of Satan, the WWF symbol, and he was talking about the WWF is a family-oriented entertainment sports, like people don't know. Anyway, he was saying that his wrestlers are someone you can look at and say, God, this is a great, clean, moral athlete. And he was implying that drug usage is something that he does not condone, none of his athletes would condone, and that when you watch a WWF wrestling match, you are watching naturally gifted athletes, which is totally fucking bullshit. Then he went on to say, when you watch WWF, you can look at this symbol of excellence, and he pointed to the WWF symbol, the symbol of Satan, behind him, and said, this is the symbol of excellence. This, to me, is a total slap in my balls, Jeff. Vince McMahon is so full of shit. It's not even worth really talking about, if you want to know my honest God opinion.
Okay, John, I think we better cut it off right there anyway. It makes me sick, but as we said, John Arezzi went to the press conference under an alias, and I want to talk to Arezzi about this.
You know the thing I've noticed about Vince McMahon that I never really noticed before by looking at him? The man has no chin. The man is totally chinless.
But look at his pecs.
Well, you can't really see his pecs through his suit. But I've seen Vince McMahon in T-shirts before, and the man, he's on some kind of drug. He's got to be.
Was it Deca Durabolin or
Deca Picker something? The man is on some steroid.
Jim?
He's bigger than some of his wrestlers, Jeff.
Vince McMahon did confess to taking steroids, but from some of the reports I'm getting...
You know what it is, Jeff?
Oh, boy.
Vince McMahon always wanted to be a wrestler when he was young. You take a look at Vince McMahon 10 years ago, and he was a pencil-neck freak, as Fred Blassie would have said. Now you look at the man, he's almost as big as Hulk Hogan, his top star. Tell me something's wrong here, Jeff, and it's not me. Vince McMahon's taking drugs, and anybody with a brain can see it. That's all I got to say about the subject. And another thing. The next time anybody, all my fans out there, I know there's millions of you listening. If you see let's boycott the WWF. Don't watch it. Just don't have nothing to do with it. That's all I have to say.
Okay, again, the comments from John Seaton are the comments from John Seaton alone and not Cassette Wrestling News. And sometimes I feel...
Jeff, that's bullshit and you know it. When you say that my comments are mine alone, not the comments of Cassette Wrestling... I am Cassette Wrestling News! I am God! And you know it.
We're gonna leave it right there, John. I'd like to thank you for really just screwing up the show. And
you're talking to Mr. Entertainment, you know it. I'm tired of this shit. Wrestling's just gone down the fucking gutter, and you don't care.
I care, John.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. I care.
I just smacked the shit out of you right here.
John, come on. No, you're getting out.
You've got a voice in wrestling, Jeff, but you don't use it.
I try.
No, you don't.
Listen here, man. I use my voice. I'm trying to look at the positive side of wrestling.
There is no positive side.
Listen here, man. You come out here and you start pulling this stuff. This is in my name. It says Jeff Osborne, Cassette Wrestling News. Yeah, you're a big...
I don't care.
Now listen. You can come out and say, come on, John. I'm out. I'm going to ask you to settle down. The people are writing me. They're saying they're tired of you using the F word.
Do you think I care, Jeff?
I do. Listen,
I don't care.
John, come on.
You've been on my ass for years. You know I'm the star of Cassette Wrestling News.
John, I'm not saying anything. You do get some fan mail. I'll admit.
I get more than you. You're boring, Jeff. You want to know the truth? You're boring. Nobody likes you hippie.
John.
I hate you.
I'm trying to conduct a show here, all right?
The show would be boring without me. Nobody would listen.
John, is this a John Seaton show? I don't think it's...
Yes, it is!
The venue says professional wrestling, Cassette Wrestling News. We're not talking about wrestling. You're arguing with me.
I'm not arguing with you.
What do you want?
I'll tell you what I want.
What do you want?
You got an idea for video Cassette Wrestling News?
Yeah.
Me and you on the show. Me and you.
That's what I was planning. Me and you hosting the show.
No. Me. You think you know so much about wrestling? I know more in my little pecker than you know in your whole body. And you know it.
John, come on, let's settle down here. We're trying to do a wrestling show.
I don't want to do a wrestling show, Jeff.
What?
I'm tired of you.
We're wasting a lot of time here. What do you want?
I don't want to host a show with you anymore. I want to kick your ass.
John, come on. Now listen,
Just me and you. What do you say, big boy?
We've been friends going on.
I don't care.
Since 7th grade.
And you've been ever since then.
John,
my anus has tattooed around it. This is Jeff's property. You bastard all the time, Jeff. You bastard.
I'm not going to wrestle you.
How about now? Oh. God. What are you doing? Oh. What are you doing? Hey. Oh. 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 Oh, God. How about now, Jeff? How about now?
You want a match? I'll give it to you. Folks, I'm not going to condone this. I know you don't want to hear it. The rest of the tape is going to be devoted to professional wrestling and not John Seaton. John Seaton is fired. He is fired from Cassette Wrestling News. This may make quite a few people mad. He busted my eye. I'm not too happy about things. Me and John go back to 7th grade. And I thought we were friends. But if he wants a match, he's got it. Video, Cassette, Wrestling News. If he wants it, he's got it. That's all I can say. Turn the tape over.
Hit me with your first shot. Each month, a guest brings the very first album they ever bought, the one that started it all. Brian Trammell, the longtime producer of The Record Store, listens to it. Then they break it down track by track. From guilty pleasures to timeless classics, it's all about nostalgia, stories, and how that first shot of music shaped who they are today. Tune in for laughs, memories, and fresh takes on the albums that kicked off a lifelong love of music. The first album that hit you, track by track. Where your first record takes the stage. Rewinding to the music that started it all. Hit me with your first shot.
Relive the glory days of Memphis wrestling with the Retro Wrestling Review USWA podcast. Each week, we go back in time to review USWA Championship Wrestling from the 1990s, episode by episode. Join us for watch-alongs, behind-the-scenes stories, and exclusive interviews with people who were there and lived it. Whether you grew up watching it or you're discovering it for the first time, this podcast is your ringside seat to Memphis wrestling history. It's all a part of the WrestleCopia Podcast Network. Listen now at USWApodcast.com.
Hey, I want to talk about one of our sponsors, Bear. B-A-R-E, period. That's right. Their tagline is Eat Better, Live Better. And I'm speaking from experience here. That's right. The better things you put in your body, the better you feel. These guys are the best meal prep company in Northeast Arkansas because, well, they prep all my meals and they don't put any of those artificial flavorings or seasonings in their food. It's just the bare ingredients. You see what I did there? Here's how it works. You choose the meals you want in your desired pickup location from their easy-to-use website. Your meals are ready Monday morning and available for pickup based on the hours of the location. They have 7 locations right here in Jonesboro, 2 in Paragould and 1 in Brooklyn. Go to bear870.com and place your order today. So here's what I want you to do. Get 15% off with our code STSPodClub at bear870.com. SponkLube.com. That's 15% off and use our code STSPodClub. Trust Bear for your meal prep needs in Northeast Arkansas. Eat better, live better. Fair. Are you enjoying the episode? Well, Cash App us. That's right, $BTSTS. You don't have Cash App? Download it and get $5. That's right, $5. That's $BTSTS. $BTSTS. All right, folks, let's talk about something that can make everything feel a little smoother, a little better, and a whole lot more comfortable. If you're listening to STS Pod, you already know we believe in top-tier performance, and that doesn't stop when the mics go off. That's right. That's why we have been proudly sponsored for 7 years by SpunkLube.com. That's right, SpunkLube.com. Spunk Lube Hybrid is their best selling for a reason. Spunk Lube Hybrid is a unique water-based silicone blend that looks and feels like your body's natural lubrication. Translation, you get that skin-to-skin sensation without the sticky mess or constant reapplication. Whether it's solo time or with a partner, or you're just upgrading your overall experience, Spunk Lube Hybrid has you covered. It's non-staining, made for sensitive skin, and cleans up easily because nobody wants extra work afterwards. Got toys, condoms, no problem. Spunk Lube Hybrid is fully compatible with sex toys, condoms, and more. And here's the good stuff. It's made in the USA, backed by 15 years of trust, and it ships discreetly as your business stays. Well, it stays your business. That's right. Right now, STS Pod listeners can get 10% off when you use the promo code STS Pod at checkout. That's STS Pod, STSPOD, for 10% off Spunk Lube Hybrid, the best selling for a reason. Feel better, move better, enjoy more, because friction, well, it's for bad podcasts, not for real life. Arkansas, lock in. Natural State Wrestling is on tour. 2 cities, 2 massive benefits, super shows, 1 state about to feel the power. That's right, Saturday, March 7th, NSR storms into Judsonian at the Judsonian Community Building, fighting for a cause as we throw down for Mission Machine, supporting our neighbors and changing lives. New rivals, new talent, and a massive 5-on-5 elimination war for the control of Natural State Wrestling. Alliances shatter, power shifts. Then, 2 weeks later, March the 21st, we roll into North Little Rock at the William F. Lehman Public Library. And nah, it ain't gonna be quiet, folks. This is full-blown building, shaking, wrestling. Every donation goes right back into the community, and every match leaves a mark. This isn't just wrestling. This is natural state wrestling. Loud, unpredictable, and built for Arkansas. NSR on tour. March matches kick off now. Be there. Contact Elijah Dobbs at 501-380-5734 for sponsorship tiers, or email them at naturalstatewrestling@gmail.com. That's RASSLIN.
Ohio gozaimashite, all Japanese wrestling fans. This is Dr. Mike Lano. I've got a lot of news going on from the land of the rising sun. We'll get right into it, but we'd like to salute Scott Hudson for his work on Global, dropping little snippets here and there. Although when he's talking about Billy Black having met Jushin Liger and Keiji Muto, he's a little bit wrong, since, of course, Billy Black works for All Japan Wrestling and has only met Baba's men. But anyway, the upcoming events, or the events that have transpired with Ric Flair last month and everything else, have gotten Riki Choshu, the booker for New Japan Pro Wrestling, pissed off Major League. Riki Choshu, who, when I first talked to him and met him last January on my trip, told me he was very wary, even though when Hattori had told me that they were going to be sending and trading guys back and forth. In March, when the WCW guys came, at the press conference, when they were wearing all sloppy clothes, and, unfortunately Rick Steiner was up there burping and just staying in character and all that, while the New Japan guys, all of them were in matching suits and ties and all that Choshu had picked out the ties and stuff for, and Inoki had supervised all the clothes. Just the contrast and the way the NWA guys or WCW guys were acting kind of pissed off Choshu, and he said if there was any screw-ups at all, that was it. He was going to try to sever ties and convince Inoki and the rest of the guys that was it. So they had to be on their best behavior, and when I went to Super Brawl in Florida, and all those guys, all the characters and all that crap, Choshu, Saito, Hashimoto, and Muto, and as well as Fujinami, all told me this organization's a joke. It's not even wrestling or anything like that. Liger had told me in January and March he had no plans, never wanted to come to the States because of the cartoon character crap. Now I hear with Flair gone, Choshu says, that's it. I mean, what possible thing could they have? Plus, for the August Budokan Hall shows, they don't even have the Steiners, so all they've got is Brian Pillman and El Gigante, and unfortunately Pillman isn't going to be able to carry it for all of that. I'm I'm very happy to join you guys. I know I could do a better reading off a piece of paper than Vince De Palma. Joel Goodhart, when I was at his show the day before Super Brawl, he said that he was going to be getting some Japanese guys to wrestle that were kind of outlaws and that had not appeared on Japanese TV, and that he'd be getting them for May of next year. But if you listen to Jeff Osborne, he's got a ton of tips on what's happening with the Japanese and Joel Goodhart, so I'm going to let him scoop that one. Medusa Michelli, she, fresh from the, unfortunately, just one single match in Germany against Wendy Richter that Wendy Richter said was the best match she ever worked, is going to be appearing from about August 7th till the end of August for not All Japan Women, but JWP. So she got more money, and when All Japan Women also found out about her 5-year PR contract with Nito, the PR firm that's going to be paying her a shitload of money, they got pissed off. Major League. Also, Debbie Malenko is going to be leaving, I think around the beginning of September, to come back to the States. This will be the 6-month mark. If her finger's still bothering her and the doctors can't fix it, she's not going back to All Japan Women. And Combate Kurosai, that's it. Until next issue of Cassette Wrestling News, thanks for having me, guys. Sayonara.
Thank you very much. The wrestling dentist, Dr. Mike Lano. Hopefully Mike Lano will be on every issue of CWN from now on with his very unique Japan report. Right now I want to go to a very controversial story that's brewing up, and several reports tell me that it even made the 900 Matwatch hotline, the WCW hotline, and I'm talking about none other than John Arezzi, not necessarily sneaking into the WWF press conference, but, I understand he is on the phone right now. I'm on the line here with John Rezzi, host of the Pro Wrestling Spotlight. And, John, I got a lot of reports on you doing a little masquerading under an alias name at a WWF press conference, and everyone's curious as to what went on there.
WWF press conference of last Tuesday, July 16th. It's not because I really wanted to go in under an assumed name or use an alias, but I was forced to. The Monday before the press conference, I called the WWF offices and spoke to, first person was Roy, I believe his name was, from Steve Planamenta's office, who is the Director of Public Relations for the WWF. I told him who I was from the Pro Wrestling Spotlight, and I asked about the press conference coming up, and they told me they had no information about any press conference. So I hung up. Half hour later, I called them back, and I disguised my voice, and I used a different name from someone who I know in the media at a big radio station in New York City, and I used that name, and then they gave me all the information I wanted about a press conference, and they said they would fax information over to me and to bring my business card the following day, and I'd be admitted in. So I knew I had to do something devious as they operate, to get into the press conference. So I called my program director for WBAB-AM, which is now WGBB, and I told him about what was going on, and I said, since I've been following the story since way into May and broke it on the Pro Wrestling Spotlight radio show June 9th, that I really felt that I should be at this press conference, and how could he help me? He said he'd call Titan offices, which he did, gave him his name. He's a program director for WBAB-AM, and they faxed him back the information, and he said he would be sending somebody, if not himself, in his place. Either he would go or he'd send someone to go to cover the press conference. Fine and dandy, I show up at the press conference Tuesday with his business cards. He gave me through his business cards, and I was admitted in with no problem. His name was Chris Frone, and he's the program director for the AM. And I let off after Vince made his opening statement, I did ask the first question, and the press conference ran smoothly enough as far as me not being detected, and I was able to get in 5 questions. But what really irritated me is that Monday before the press conference, I spoke to several people in the wrestling media here in New York, and I got the same story from everybody. Once everyone tried to find information about this press conference and they identified themselves as wrestling media, they were told there was no information about a press conference. After Vince's statements and his question and answer session with the press on Tuesday, I went up to him after he stepped off the podium, and I said, Vince, I just want to ask you one last thing. Why was the wrestling media not told or not allowed into this press conference? And he stated, quote, that he, that actually, let me just phrase this right, he said that he knew nothing about the wrestling media being barred or not being informed. And then Steve Planamenta jumped right in before Vince could elaborate, or I could get a secondary question. And Steve Planamenta said the reason no wrestling media was at the press conference is because no one called his office. And I caught him in a tremendous lie, and I started rattling off some names of people who I know for a fact called, including myself. And his final banter, we were going back and forth on it for, a few seconds, and he said, well, no one spoke to me, and he turned and whisked Vince away and out of the building. As I was leaving, I was approached by Melissa Melzer, no relation to Dave out in the West Coast, but Melissa Melzer is an assistant in public relations there, and she came up to me and said, we spend a lot of money on WBAB, and your behavior is not conducive to us continuing a relationship. And I had my tape recorder rolling, and I said, what does the WWF buying advertising time on our station have to do with me covering this press conference? And she said that they were there in a positive light trying to talk about their innovative steroid testing, and that my attitude pretty much was negative, and that's all she had to say about it.
Thank you very, very much, Mr. John Rezzi. What can you say? The World Wrestling Mafia strikes again. This really nooks my cranny, if you know what I mean. Not informing the real wrestling fans, the true wrestling fans, the hardcore fans. This is just a big, in my opinion, a big PR campaign to make them look good and to get them back on the sides of all the people that, that used to watch the WWF. Then they lost a little respect when all the steroid crap came off. And I want to tell a story right now. When I went into the post office to mail out last issue, a lady was asking me about Hulk Hogan. And she'd been following the thing. She's not a casual fan. She said it was a shame that these men had to stoop to that low. And she said that her kid looks up to Hulk Hogan, and she feels betrayed. And I said she has every right to be betrayed. And when the WWF starts pulling this crap, and John, I gotta really, really hand it to John Arezzi. He has put his neck on the line for the industry of professional wrestling, and he's paid the price, and I don't think he has received the recognition that he should. And we want to recognize John Arezzi as a true wrestling patriot on this issue of Cassette Wrestling News. So we need to salute him for being brave and tough enough to tough it out and go to this press conference, and just for going and finding that just those little bits of information that make him the great wrestling personality he is. And we want to congratulate you, John, and we respect you immensely. Right now I want to talk about a very, very mysterious phone call that I did receive. I don't know if this is legit or what, but I received a phone call from a guy who claims that he has worked for Vince McMahon in the past. And, this could be a big joke. It could even be one of you listeners out there. But we're going to have to wait and see. He said he would be calling me back, but you never can tell. It could be one of those big hoaxes. Anyway, he said, I asked him why he wanted to choose Cassette Wrestling News. He said hearing words are much more powerful than reading them, in which I sort of feel the same way. But he said he would be calling me back. I asked for his name. He refused to give me the name. He refused to give me the number he was at. But he says he used to work for Titan, and we will have him on next show, hopefully, if he does return my call. And I want to remind everyone that this could be, it just could be a big work or something. Or we'll just have to wait and see on that. But I did receive some wrestling information from this man who claims that 4 men in the WWF have tested HIV positive. He gave me 3 names. Remember, this is, as far as I know, this is just a rumor right now. He gave me the names of Rick Martel, Pat Patterson, Rene Goulet, and Vince McMahon. I've also heard this from several wrestlers within the industry. I talked to a wrestler the other night who shall remain nameless, and he had this comment to say about McMahon. He says, it couldn't happen to a better person that has screwed this business. I don't know if I'd put it in those words, but that's pretty close to what my opinion would be too. But the HIV positive thing has got a lot of people thinking. And this man who also called said the Ultimate Warrior has handed in his resignation officially, and that after SummerSlam he will be gone. So we'll have to wait and see if this guy is correct or not. Also, I want to remind everyone that Larry Katz has moved his talk show. He has moved his show to WCAO, that's AM 600 there in Baltimore, and he can now be heard Sunday nights, 10 p.m. to 12 a.m. We want to wish Larry the best of luck. And right now I want to tell everyone how to subscribe to Cassette Wrestling News or renew your subscription. 6-issue subscription to Cassette Wrestling News is just $16, and that's 6 hours of professional wrestling and interviews. And you can send that to Jeff Osborne, care of Cassette Wrestling News, 3420 New Harmony Road, Evansville, Indiana, 47720, or please feel free to call me, 812-425-5460. The rumor mill is stirring again about WCW in conjunction with the Addams Family motion picture. Will be co-promoting something around Halloween Havoc time. I got this from a couple of sources. They say that WCW will be using some of the characters from the Addams Family movie on the Halloween Havoc pay-per-view. Wow, how exciting. Okay, I wanted to read Mr. Gordon Scazzari. He offers this editorial on the Great American Bash. Did you see the Bash? It was the worst pay-per-view ever. The announcers did not seem aware of the angles, such as race and Mr. Hughes' appearance. Everyone, with the exception of Sting and Ron Simmons, seemed sluggish and disinterested. Flags in a scaffold match? These guys stalled longer than Dino Bravo and rested more than Andre. Flair wasn't the only thing missing, as even one of his best performances wouldn't have saved it. Was Race there to turn Luger heel again? If so, then they should change his name to Paul Orndorff No. 2. What a way to treat their largest crowd of the year. He also goes on in his letter to say, talking about the UWF pay-per-view, or a TV taping, Evan Ginsberg's comments on Bob Backlund in Arena Report were true. Backlund made a sincere effort to please everyone, remaining at least 30 minutes after the show, possibly longer, since he was still there after I left. Backlund is scheduled to face Terry Funk, I believe, August 17th for Dennis Carluzzo up on the East Coast. And you couldn't pick a better man. Bob Backlund, probably one of the most gentle guys, and I hope there's enough of Terry Funk left when he goes up to Philadelphia to take on Ric Flair September 21st. Damn, I can't wait. You know, a lot of people are giving Abrams a hard time, and it seems like it's never going to end. You got to admit, the guy has guts. Anybody in this day and age is going to put on a pay-per-view with very little advertising. You got to give him credit because he's taking a lot of chances. Maybe he doesn't know that much about the business, but you know he's trying, and he thinks he's doing fairly well. And you know, the way the wrestling business is going right now with Titan and WCW, something is going to happen, and Herb Abrams is going to be king. Yikes! Think about it. Gordon also attended the Meadowlands show that took place July 3rd, and chants of "We Want Flair," of course. Gordon goes on to say the fans on the bus wanted to see Flair, Sting, and Anderson, yet BN News gets the big push. Yeah, I'd like to push him right out of there. Anyway, a mark on the bus in the back called Flair awesome and said that Flair would be the only one that he would pay to see, and the fan did not go. WCW Meadowlands Great American Bash, the biggest crowd of the year, went home disappointed over Flair and a lackluster card. Does Jim Herd really give a crap about these fans? I don't think so. Evan Ginsberg, the editor of Wrestling Then and Now, wanted me to remind everyone that he is offering a free issue. And folks, that is a free issue if you send him a self-addressed stamped envelope before Labor Day, and he'll send you the very next issue of Wrestling Then and Now. And that address is Post Office Box 471, Oakland Garden Station, Flushing, New York, 11364. I highly suggest you check it out. Right now I want to go back to John Rezzi. He's going to tell us about some items he has for sale and his 900 number, as well as the big convention he has going. John?
Okay, Jeff, I really appreciate you giving me the opportunity to talk about the convention that's coming up. The event is being called Weekend of Champions this year, and will bring together for the first time under the same roof some of the biggest names in the history of professional wrestling. Signed to appear for the two-day affair are seven-time NWA World Champion Ric Flair, who'll be appearing both days, August 24th and 25th, plus six-time NWA World Champion Lou Thesz, two-time WWF World Champion Bruno Sammartino, former NWA and WWF World Heavyweight Champion Buddy Rogers, the original Nature Boy, former WWF Champion Superstar Billy Graham, all-time Women's Champion Fabulous Moolah, plus we'll have an array of other stars in the wrestling business, including Rick Rude, Jim Cornette, Woman, Luscious Johnny Valiant, and others still to be announced guests to this once-in-a-lifetime gathering. The celebrities appearing will be signing autographs, posing for photos with the fans. In addition, there'll be over 30 wrestling collectible dealer tables. We'll have a question and answer session, which was one of our most popular events of last year. That'll be moderated by Jim Cornette. The event will take place on Saturday, August 24th and Sunday, August 25th, from 11 a.m. till 5 p.m. at the Ramada Inn, formerly the Royce Hotel, the same site we did the convention last year, right by LaGuardia Airport in East Elmhurst, Queens. We'll have special rates for those coming in overnight. If they want more information on the convention, they can just give me a call at 516-587-2861, or they can reach me by fax at 516-321-4901. If they want to call the hotel to book their rooms directly and get the discount by mentioning Weekend of Champions, they can call 718-446-4800. And finally, we're offering a super ticket package, $60. It includes 2 days admission, 2 days autograph passes, black and white and colored glossies of all the wrestlers appearing, one T-shirt, and the super ticket purchases will be admitted first before the general public is allowed into the convention. They'll be admitted first each day. Last year, people waited online 3 to 4 hours sometimes to get in, and we'll only be selling 200 of those. And lastly, just to plug my 900 number, 900-246-7526, $2 first minute, $1 each additional. And we have a lot of great information on that, 4 different menu selections, interviews. We have the entire Vince McMahon press conference on there right now. That's been going over pretty big. But I appreciate the time, Jeff, and continued success with you and John and the Cassette Wrestling News.
Okay, I just got a second chance to listen to John's little ad there, and I think I'm going to go call that 900 number right now. I want to hear what McMahon had to say, what kind of garbage he was feeding the public. I suggest everyone call that number and check it out. Right now, I want to give a plug to Video Cassette Wrestling News. I'm going to take orders for it right now for $12.50. Send that to yours truly, CWN, 3420 New Harmony Road, Evansville, Indiana, 47720. And it's going to be sort of comedy-oriented, so if you're into that stuff, go for it. Me and John against each other, and I apologize, folks. I honestly try to keep John in line, and I'd like to have him back on the show. I shouldn't have fired him like that, but I've been getting a lot of complaints, and it's time that I've done something about it. I know a lot of people wanted me to, but that's the way it is. But hopefully we can settle our differences on Video Cassette Wrestling News. Get to see a lot of bootleg footage as well as some neat old stuff I stumbled across. So check it out, $12.50. All right, we're running a little low on time here, and see the phone's ringing here. Let me pick this up.
Osborne, you geek, pick up the phone.
What, Jersey Devil?
Yeah, who else do you think it would be?
Where have you been? Well, you've won 2 issues without making an appearance.
You can't even count, pal. Why don't you get your act together? Don't you understand that people like me take vacations, pal? I've been on a 2-month vacation. Matter of fact, that's where I'm calling you from. I heard you've been looking for me. Don't you get it, pal? Don't you get it?
You could have given me. You could have notified me that you were going on vacation.
Let me tell you something, pal. Let me tell you something. Jeff Osborne wants to know where the Great Jersey Devil has been. Chris Cruz wants to know where the Great Jersey Devil's been. Cactus Jack wants to know where the Great Jersey Devil has been. But you know what? It's none of your business, pal. And just suffice to say that while the incredible brain trust at WCW has been ruining the company, and the pharmacists at the WWF have been taking their vitamins and saying their prayers, well, the Jersey Devil has been creating another successful business venture somewhere that you'll never find out about, pal. Let me just tell you. Now, I got another thing to say. If you were smart in my absence, if you were smart in my absence, pal, you'd be playing one of the classic Jersey Devil shows. But no, that's beyond your comprehension, just like these other drooling, sniveling geeks that you call listeners.
Yeah, whatever you say, mate.
Well, I'll tell you what, pal. Rather than waste my time, why don't you get smart, and why don't you go into the archives, those bright, shining lights that When you walk into your archives, they stare out at you. In neon, they say the Jersey Devil Show. And why don't you play one of the classics, pal?
I'll see what I can dig up, but...
Matter of fact, I'm going to do you one better. I'm going to intro it right now for you. Now, you take this tape and you tell your listeners, and here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, another classic Jersey Devil Show.
Hey, Steve Beverly, you geek. How could you print such a dumb column in your April 30th issue? Dr. Mike Lano, or Lame Brain as I like to call him, submitted an article that almost made sense. He talked about stereotypes in wrestling and how Eddie Gilbert had booked creatively in the UWF with very little stereotyping. Then he finishes his column with the suggestion that wrestling should have characters like a dentist, veterinarian, an IRS man, podiatrist, or a proctologist. Oh. Hey, did I miss something here, pal? Is that a joke? Boy, would I ever shell out $15 to see a show where the main event was Dusty Rhodes against his proctologist in the square circle. Boy. Give me a break. Finally, I've got some great news. The NWA will return to the Meadowlands Arena in New Jersey sometime this fall after a successful April 26th run. I'll see you there, cretins. Until next time, this is the Jersey Devil from deep in the swamps of Jersey.
There was some Jersey Devil classic. You know, it's interesting that Dr. Mike Lano is on this tape, and this segment that we have just heard from the Jersey Devil was taped, I believe, in April or May of 1990. And here we are a year or so later, and we have Irwin R. Shyster. You know, either Mike Lano and the Jersey Devil are making sense. So, you know, what's next? You know, we're getting all these alleged sexual stuff in the, don't know how quite to put it, folks, all this sexual stuff in the WWF, this HIV positive, the Warrior scandal, the Hogan scandal. You know, I think McMahon's going to come out with a new character called Chester the Molester, and after he pins him with a headbutt, yikes, and after he, can't even talk, after he gets the pinfall, he is, Chester the Molester assaults his victim, his opponent, with KY jelly. What do you say, Vince McMahon? Why don't you try it? You've tried everything else. Give it a try. We're about ready to wrap this issue of Cassette Wrestling News up. Again, a sample issue, $3, 6 issues, $16. Or please, feel free to give me a call. You know, I don't say a lot of things on tape that I should be saying, and a lot of info is pretty outdated once you get these tapes. And if you want the up-to-date stuff, give me a call. It's 812-425-5460. Heard some good stuff about Eddie Gilbert, Lawler, Embry, and Pritchard on Joel Goodhart's show. Heard it was a blast. I heard they were having some classic Eddie and some classic Pritchard stuff going there. So two of the greatest guys you could ever see in the ring. But I want to wrap this up. I want to thank Dr. Mike Lano, John Arezzi, and Joel Goodhart for their additions, as well as the Jersey Devil and John Seaton. I'm coming after you. We'll see you next time on Cassette Wrestling News. For John Seaton, this is Jeff Osborne saying keep your shoulders off the mat and keep reaching for the ropes.